So I've told you what Scale-Out NAS is. Talked about the key principles that customers, both IT administrators and big data architects, are asking for in their next generation storage device. But I've got to warn you, there are some pretenders out there. There are companies that are trying to sell you a product that's not scale-out. It doesn't match the key principles that customers want, that you want from your scale-out system. In fact, it's not even a scale-out architecture. It's a fraud. Let me walk through that with you. You might recognize this is a traditional dual controller and shelf architecture. This is what you've seen out there. This is what you're used to. This is not scale-out. Organizations have taken this. They've connected these via networks, and now they call that scale-out. Has anything changed? Not much. They present to you a namespace. Namespace aggregation is not scale-out. Let me walk through why. The first principle we should talk about is simplicity. Remember that analogy about a single volume that scales easily? You might have counted there are 6 volumes up here, and we're just getting started. As this environment grows, it's going to get more and more complex. That is not simple to use. It's not simple to manage. Not simple. Predictable. Is this environment predictable? If I scale this capacity, I increase the load on this controller. That affects the rest of the workflows and applications that are inside this particular environment. That's not predictable. If I need to scale this out and add additional units, is it going to have the same performance as the previous units? No. It's got a bunch of different volumes and different applications. That is not predictable. Is this an efficient architecture? Let's talk about what happens when one of these volumes gets hot. Let's say that volume C gets a lot of activity. Well, guess what? Volume C is only using a single controller to get access. This controller isn't being used. These controllers aren't being used. That's not an efficient use of your resources. Let's talk about what you might have to do to go and make this more efficient. Well, you're going to have to take volume B and you're going to move it off that controller. Now it's going to interfere with volume A, so you might move it over here to this controller. Well, now it's going to interfere with volume F. You've got a lot of work to do as you try to juggle capacity and performance just to get efficiency. The system should be efficient automatically, not efficient. Let's talk about availability. If I lose these 2 controllers, I have lost access to all of this data. That means portions of this namespace are no longer available. If I lose access to the shelf, I've lost access to the data. And if the shelf fails, the data is gone forever. That is not an available architecture. Namespace aggregation. This system is complex, it's unpredictable, it's not efficient, it's not available. It's not enterprise class. Customers have made it clear what they want out of a scalable storage system is something that is simple and efficient and predictable and available. They want something ready for their enterprises today. Don't settle for anything less than true scale out. Don't be fooled by the pretenders.